Well, do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 93, year 3. Today we're going to talk about NFL last night. What a disaster that was. The NFL coming up this weekend, the baseball playoffs today, the crazy another week in poker. The Mouthpiece is next. What up? Welcome to the Mouthpiece. How you guys doing? What do you want to talk about first? The new conspiracy theories with the Hustler Casino live stream, or what you want to call a football game last night. Well, me personally, I am not changing my, I'm just not changing my thought process on the whole thing. No, I don't know. I mean, maybe she was drunk, maybe not high. I don't know. The one guy said he was out drinking with them the night before and they were shit-faced hammered. Who the heck knows? I don't know. I have nothing else to say. I know. I mean, there's this old saying I always had. There's no such thing as coincidences. If you look at all forensic files, whenever there's a coincidence, the person always ends up being guilty. There's so many coincidences here, but I just don't see it. Really, some fucking employee who's probably been stealing when he's counted people's chips for God knows how long just happens to be caught taking off her stack, and people are going to say, oh, well, he gave back the money, so he wanted his cut. Can you guys really, really put those two things together and say it in one sentence? He got caught, so he wanted his cut. So if they were, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, you guys are just really, really out there. No, there's no chance it was staged. I play in a private game with Ryan. I'm good friends with Ryan and Nick. We talk about the stream all the time. You know, it's just, why do you think she's looking more guilty? Did you listen to her on the thing last night? She's either the greatest actress in the history of the world and should be a Hollywood A-lister, or she is what she says she is. I mean, says take your fucking, shut up and put your mask on. That's what it says. My first impressions are almost always right. Matter of fact, I can't even remember the times of my first impressions being wrong. But this time, I was so convinced that she was guilty. And the first 36 hours, I went on Joey's podcast and I said it. I said, she's guilty. That's 100%. Listen, Doug comes up with conspiracy theories for clicks. That's all he gives a fuck about is clicks. You don't hear him talking about the big robbery at the Lodge Poker Room, do you? No, of course not, because that hurts him. See, all Doug cares about is what helps him, not what hurts him. And I like Doug. I have nothing against Doug. But some people are self-centered people that care only about their bottom line. You know, where's the video talking about the robbery at the Lodge poker room? And maybe it was an inside job or somebody did that to get headlines. You don't hear that because none of that's true. And, you know, whatever it is, you know, he's not talking about it because it hurts the brand. Again, I like Doug a lot. I don't have anything against him, but I'm just being honest with you guys. That's how it is. Yeah, I mean, do you really think Nick and Ryan released a statement that they caught an employee that's been with them for a long time stealing because it's a cover-up for guilty? Maybe it is. I mean, maybe it'll come out. But, you know, I'm more leaning towards the side of like when Nick tweeted last night at like 1 a.m. and said, the poker world don't give a fuck about finding the truth. All they care about is clicks and likes. And that's about as close to the truth as you're obviously going to find. Why did he take it on camera? First of all, the camera was off. And once the stream ends, they usually never look at the stream. So the guy's probably been doing it for a long time. And America's dumbest criminals have to know that the stream is going to be watched, including when the stream is off. The cameras are going to be looked at. So if you've ever watched America's Dumbest Criminals before, I mean, you see this all the time. You see the stupidest things. You know, one guy went up I saw one time in a attic to go into a business and got stuck in the attic, and he called the police to get him out of the attic. So first of all, here's the thing: the fact that it's been confirmed by Nick and Ryan that the shuffle machine has no RFID in it. That means it only shuffles the cards. That means they can never know what the runout's going to be. So the fact that you're going to put it in 53-48, even if you know the cards, when you could just sit there and they keep feeding you the cards and you could just pick off bluff after bluff for infinite amount of money. I mean, think about that, guys. Think about that. And then the fact that the hand was going to be scrutinized 1,000 times. It was pretty obvious she was in shock. She won both boards. And that's why she didn't want to show her hand, because it's just what we talked about on Monday. It just makes the most sense. You know, it's just, it just being honest with you, you know, why didn't you just press charges? Well, it's real easy. I was in fucking court today trying to settle a case that for a guy that screwed me out of a lot of money. Okay. If you press charges, guess what? You got to go down to court and you got to fucking show your face and you got to prosecute. Okay. If you're getting your $15,000 back, why would you press charges? Like, oh, I want this guy prosecuted. Well, why? You got your money back. Fucking Ryan and them reimbursed it to you. So, of course, you're not going to press charges, you know? So, anyways, I don't believe that. These are all conspiracy theories. I'm just being honest with you guys. I mean, I said 100% guilty for the first 36, 48 hours. And then I just, you know, I agree. There's no such thing as coincidences, but you know, Robbie made a lot of good points. Okay, if she gives the money back, she's guilty. If she keeps it, she's cheating. If she presses charges. If she doesn't press charges, she's guilty. If she does, I mean, it's like she can't win. I don't know, man. If I was in Garrett's shoes, I would have reacted the same way. As soon as I saw the video, the first thing I said was cheating, you know? But again, that's an emotional response. I told you guys that on Monday, you know? It just doesn't make sense. Come on, you guys. Maybe I was right the first 36 hours. I'm not saying, hey, it's going to come out, and then I'm not going to play both sides of the fence, by the way. I mean, my original thought was 100% guilty, but after looking at the whole total of the entire hand, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So, my ex-girlfriend, she's studied this whole case. She has nothing better to do. So she spent the whole weekend last weekend studying the case. And then now with all the new things that have come forward, she's 100% on guilty. And she says it has nothing to do. Don't even pay attention to the hand. Pay attention to the actions. You know what I'm saying? And the actions, So shut up with the fucking. I don't do any drugs and I don't drink, so give me a break. She texted me earlier today. Oh, with new relations, I told you she's guilty and blah 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 blah. And here's the thing: I'm very good at reading people, reading faces, reading situations, and I read her as very uncomfortable before the call and very uncomfortable after the call. But if you look at it the other way and you look at it as for a second thought she had a bluff catcher with a pair of threes, and then after she calls, realized she didn't, and she was too ashamed to say, I misread my hand. Right? And she just wanted to muck her hand. She said, no, you're going to win. No, I can't win. You're going to win. Right? Why would she be saying that if she even thought she was going to win? See what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden she wins both boards. And then she wanted to look like the big shot. Ha ha, I owned you, Garrett. You hear what she said. I'll own you again, blah, blah, blah. But not recognizing the magnitude of the hand she turned over, because she was laughing, and she's like, she didn't even know why he was staring at her, I mean, listen, guys, it's one of the most bizarre hands I've ever seen in poker, but you guys really need to stop trolling and really look at the totality of the hand. If this guy was really signaling to her what Garrett had, he would have been able to beat her for hundreds of thousands of dollars in spots that make sense, okay? Not a spot that's going to get the attention of the whole poker world that makes no sense. Do you see what I'm saying? And people say, well, that's the best way to cheat. Really? Where you're 5%, 53-48 in a spot that everybody's going to go crazy if you win? Come on. I'm just... I watch even the smartest poker players flip sides, and why I might be slurring is because I went to bed at like 4 a.m. and had to be up at 8 this morning and downtown at 9:30, so I didn't sleep very much, so that could have something to do with it, but yeah, that's it. But anyways, so listen, Nick and them are getting to the bottom of this thing. I mean, supposedly the guy Brian who got fired was supposed to go on Joey's podcast. I don't even know if he did. I mean, why would a guy who just got fired and stole $15,000 in the poker world possibly want to be under attack by thousands of people and being called a fucking thief? I mean, this guy, I'll tell you what. Anybody wants to put money up, this guy doesn't go on Joey's podcast tonight.
Robbie asked him to.
Oh, Robbie asked?
She asked him to.
Now, why would she ask him to?
He asked, "Is there anything if there's anything I can do for you, let me know." And she said, "Will you go on Ingram's podcast tonight?"
Why?
To help clear her name, I guess.
Clear her name. Her name's going to be cleared by internal investigation. They're going to know. You know, they don't need to hear from him. Really? I mean, oh my God. If this guy goes on this podcast tonight, hi, this is Brian, the thief that stole $15,000, which would, when you steal $15,000, that's like a felony and you'd be prosecuted by like 3 years in prison. But I'm going to go on a podcast and admit to everybody I stole 15 grand just so I could clear Robbie's name. Okay. That starts to lean me more towards guilty, to be honest with you. I mean, can you imagine how did she even get a hold of him? Like, oh, hey, Nick, you got the guy who stole my money's phone number so I could call him so he could go on Joey's podcast and clear his name?
I guess he was texting her. It's all on Twitter.
I mean,
She posted the whole thing.
did you read the text message? No, I haven't. I'm going to take phone calls. Well, I wouldn't want the police to prosecute him either. Just give me my money back. I don't want people to go to jail. I mean, people make mistakes all the time, you know. Yeah. Robbie cheated on a hammer. Phil Ivey and 25,000 viewers. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Anyways, she sent a text to herself naked and passed the phone to a detective. Nick passed the phone to her friend who said he was a detective. What? Oh, you're trolling me. Okay. She posts check her Twitter. She posts the combo.
Yeah,
Look it up. Well, read it to me. Hand it to me. Send it to me.
It's a big, long thing. You got to open up your Twitter.
We got to open up my Twitter.
It's a conversation between her and the guy who stole the money. When
All right, guys. Hold on. Yeah, I listen to her on Joey's podcast, and I truly don't believe she's guilty. You know? But, what do I know? Oops, I can't put this in here. Hold on a second.
While you do that, I'll open up the
Did he see? He blew it all in a 10, 20, 40 game. Okay, where am I going to? I don't even follow this chick, I don't think. So she put it, let's see. Oh, this is it? I got a message?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Robbie. My name is Brian. I'm the kid who stole 3 chips off your stack. I was working, but now I'm fired. This is too good, man. This is like, this is Jerry Springer shit. Let's read this out loud. I am in a really bad place financially, and my debt was adding up. I'm only 24 with 2 kids and have no education. I got desperate and honestly didn't know whose stack I took the 3 chips off of. But if it happened to be yours, Robbie, I believe you. Someone who was so kind to give the money to the crybaby Garrett and kind enough to spare me wouldn't not be as nice as you are. I didn't think you cheated. I never did. I think everyone is fucking stupid and they're defaming an honest person's name because these pros can't fathom how you read this amazing cash game player for shit and call them. All right. Come on. All right. This is retarded. She didn't read him for anything. She thought he might be weak. There is no call, even if you think he's weak, for $100 grand. Let's see. You 100% had the power to press charges, but you choose not to, and I'm eternally grateful. I'm really, really genuinely sorry from the bottom of my heart for stealing. I mean, all right. I'm starting to lean more towards guilty. This just sounds like a made-up This sounds like a made-up message. I mean, I know how to read people. I mean, what the fuck? I'm really, really genuine from the bottom of my heart for stealing. I made a split-second decision that has now ruined my reputation and caused me to lose my only source of income. For my life is fucked, even if I never have to spend a minute in jail. I'm glad you understand that pressing charges would only have my life worse. I wish you were here so I could give you a hug and tell you I'm actually sorry. I grew up poor. I still am. I was left at 18 to fend for myself. My mom was a meth. Blah, 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 blah. All right.
Do you see where she
My life fucking sucks. I was slaving away. I was getting paid bare minimum, getting used by them. Really. To accomplish their goals of starting this show. I mean, you get paid a certain fucking salary. You don't have to fucking take it. I mean, why are you trying to... I mean, here's the thing. This is the guy that went to bat for everybody in Hustler Casino Live staff, and now he's throwing them all under the bus for firing him for stealing $15,000. I mean, this just bothers me. But he is a young kid. I mean, when I was 24, I was like a child, so I don't know. Person say, thank you for saving my life. Thank you for sparing me. Thanks for getting me out of the toxic workplace. Now it's a toxic workplace. Before they caught him stealing, everybody at Hustler Casino Live, Nick and Ryan, were the greatest people in the world. Thank you for changing the outlook of kindness and genuine. I'm behind you and always. Please let me know if there's anything you do to repay you. All right. So she's been paid back by Hustler Casino Live. This is something that is very disturbing to me. Now I know what everybody's talking about. This just seems like a letter that granted it's a picture from him, but it's almost like they talked on the phone and they wrote it together and decided what to fucking write. Yeah.
You see where she asks him to go on the podcast?
Where she does what?
Where she asks him to go on Ingram's podcast?
No, where's that at?
It's at the end of it.
Okay. Being a casino. Oh, okay. So okay. My life sucks. Minimum getting used by them. Club they're gone. Let me know anything you could do to repay it. Just feel really hard times. I don't know. Oh, please know if there's anything I could do to try and repay you. Really hard times. Didn't know anyone that could help me. I'm willing to do anything. I mean, but again, when was this sent? When they already said that they would repay her, right? You know, like of course they're going to repay her. You know, here's the thing, okay? So that was what, this morning at 8:20, or?
Yeah, it came out today.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Takes the plot thickens here. Here's the thing. She called off like tons of money in different spots, all so she could get her money in with Jack High would be the most highly controversial hand in poker history. Come on, guys. You can't really be thinking this. You know? Yeah, I mean, listen, my first instincts when I saw it, I said guilty. My first instincts when I read this text, I said, you got to be kidding me. Okay, but, and there's a big but, text messages come across different to every other person. That's why when I tweet out something where I'm laughing and saying it from the bottom of my heart in a good way, people will then say, Mike, you're racist, or Mike, no, I've never been called racist, but Mike, you're hateful, you're full of anger, you're full of hate, because the human body sees the text messages and relieves it or like looks at it and kind of,
There's no
breaks it down the way their brain tells them to break it down. Kind of like the Elon Musk tweet, where he just is trying to negotiate some kind of peace deal with Ukraine, right? From the bottom of his heart, he's just trying to do something to stop World War III, and we'll get into that later part of the show. And so many people in the Ukraine side just went after Musk. Oh, he's pro-Putin. Oh, come on, dude. What are you, crazy? You know? So people, you know, they take things whichever way their brain is telling them to take it. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Jacket of Diamonds hand, but she called 24,000 on the fucking turn when he had a full house. I mean, before she called 24,000, he'd get signaled, you know, that he has a full house fold. I mean, come on, man. Anyways, I was 100% sure at first cheating. A lot of all this coming to light. I just don't buy it. I just think there's just, if somebody was giving her the whole cards, she could have printed infinite money without anybody or bringing any attention to herself. That's what I have to say. Yeah, I mean, there are the world's dumbest criminals. The fishing tournament, that's a good point. Like, really, you're going to put lead in your fish when every fisherman in the world knows what a 5-pound fish looks like and what a 6-pound fish looks like, and you're going to put lead in it and make it an 8-pound fish? Oh, this little fish that I've seen the size of a fish caught 100,000 times, and it's always a 5.4 pounder, is all of a sudden 8 pounders. Give me a break. You know, anyways. Yeah. You know, that's just, I don't know, my opinion. Everybody's got opinion like assholes. They all think they know everything, you know? And that's just a fucking fact. She thought she'd go viral for making some insane great call. All she did was blow her cover. That's what happens when you're dumb as a fucking rock. Okay. Maybe. Listen, my first intuitions are always right. So, with that said, with the first intuition and with reading of that message, I'm going to lean more back to cheat, even though it makes absolutely no sense to me. Exactly. Okay, so let's go. Why is Doug playing hustler right after proceeding cheating compromise? Well, I'm going to explain it to you. And I asked Nick the exact same thing. And what did Nick say? Well, if Doug's on our thing playing, then he knows there's no cheating going on here. Well, of course Doug knows there's no cheating going on there. But Doug needs to make clicks. So he plays both sides of the fence, and then he could promote the Lodge Poker Room on fucking on a stream that's now got 50,000 people watching it. You think fucking Doug's stupid? Doug used Daniel, took his money to become famous, even though he was already, you know, somewhat famous, but it took him to a whole new level. Then he bought a poker room. Then he doesn't talk nothing about the serious robbery they had there. It was crickets. Then he replaces the crickets, with cheating. Why? He's there playing on the Hustler stream after accusing everybody of cheating. And I'm sure he's got the Lodge logo all over himself. I don't even have to guess. This is just fucking, I know this because Doug is a narcissist. Doug is about Doug, and that's it. Now, again, no, My buddy Phil's the same. There's a lot of people in poker that are all about themselves, and but that doesn't mean they're not a good-hearted person. Phil's a good-hearted person. Phil's a great person.
You're too good. Phil Helm, you're too good.
Yeah. And so, listen, Doug is all about Doug. I mean, listen, hey, to each his own. I care about people. Doug cares about Doug. That's the way it is. Now, Poker Dog is a good point you just made there. So, I'm going to say something, what you just said. My ex-girlfriend told me the same thing. Said, listen, all the liberals think she's innocent, and all the fucking conservatives with a brain know she's guilty. If you think she's innocent, you're buying into the woke narrative. That's what my girlfriend said to me, my ex-girlfriend. Sorry. So, Poker Dog, there's a lot to what you're saying there. Yeah, she would have to be next level narcissist for sure. Listen, remember, everybody takes what they say and they spin it the way they want. Okay? The liberals used to take what Trump said, which was joking most of the time, and it was pretty funny most of the time, and they would spin it into, oh my God, he's evil, going to get us into World War III, as we have Biden about ready to get us into World War III. So, it's not that I didn't think she was innocent. I just used my brain and put 2 and 2 together. It came up with 4. Now, Herolibus made a good point yesterday. When 2 plus 2 is 4, and 4 plus 4 is 8, and 8 plus 8 is 16, and 16 plus 16 is 32. And you're now at 32 plus 32, and you have to go that far, something might be off. So, Russiagate election. We heard that for 3 years, and they had the whole world convinced that Russia colluded with Putin. Give me a break. I don't know. Polk won 100K last night. Of course he did. He's playing... whatever, is what it is. There's too much smoke to not be fire. That's a good point, but there's also a lot of water to not be fire also. Like listening to Robbie talk, she's not afraid to say anything, I don't know, man. I don't know. We're going to take phone calls on this in about 10 minutes. Let's get back to this in a minute. Let's talk about the NFL last night. If that wasn't the worst football game in the history of NFL football on TV, I'd like to know what was. If my life depended on it, what is going on? I don't know, man. But anyways, she did change her story a shitload of times, but she also is a novice. And when you're a novice and you're under that kind of pressure and you're trying to make yourself look good to a big poker community, you're going to say poker terms that don't even make sense. What she's saying, she's not. You act like she's some high stakes poker genius or something, Anyways, going back to the game last night. So I'm doing really well in the Circa contest. I'm 14-6 on one card, and have 2 other cards, 12-8. I'm also got 12 wins in the Westgate contest. I should have 15 wins in the Circa contest and not 14. I ended up with Pittsburgh instead of Dallas, which I had in almost every other of my cards. I argued that was our best card. We were 11-4 in the card, and I told my partner I want Dallas. He wanted Pittsburgh. I insisted on Dallas. He insisted on Pittsburgh. And he gave me two of mine that he was, unfortunately, we have lost an extra one. I mean, the fact that someone's 18-1-1 and I'm 4.5 back. I mean, can you imagine someone 18-1-1? I mean, listen, 4.5 games back after 4 weeks is nothing. Just need to put a 5-0 and a 4-1 together, go 9-1 the next 2 weeks. We'll pick up 3 games or 4 games, who knows? We're going to talk about what my pick of the week is, and I am really, really confident on it. So, I had in one of my pick'em contests my second best pick of the week, which was Indy last night. I mean, in all reality, I had the wrong side, but I didn't have him in any of my contest picks. I had him in my pick'em league as a 9 out of 10 plus 3.5. So that's a winner. But I did not deserve to win. I mean, this coach, after 4th and 5 and not going for a 4th down and trying to kick a 64-yard field goal in week 1, probably should have been fired. The fact that he doesn't run first of all, I couldn't even believe he even went for it on 4th and 2. I mean, it's at the 30. It's a 47-yard field goal to go up by 6. Indy was never scoring a touchdown, and then to not run the ball on 3rd and 4 and then kick the field goal. I mean, and then you're up by 6. I got no timeouts. Indy was never getting a touchdown, but to throw it to the end zone against Stephon Gilmore, like when Russ has been terrible all game. I mean, that was beyond horrible. And then 4th down and 1 in overtime, you're gashing them on the ground. Like, just run the ball. I mean, they ain't be able to stop a yard the whole second half. I mean, this coach is, just like Russell Wilson. I mean, he literally looks like the worst quarterback in the NFL. And maybe he is. I don't know. I mean, he was rated the 4th worst. I don't know. I mean, he looks absolutely horrific. I mean, I wanted a 1st down, and then I wanted them to get stopped. I don't know. I wanted a tie game because nobody deserved to win that game. It was really bad. You guys are all crazy. Anyways, yeah, baseball playoffs today. How'd you like what the St. Louis Cardinals did today? 72-0 when leading after 8 innings by 2+ runs in the history of their franchise, and now in playoffs and are now 72-1. Truly one of the worst blow-ups by the manager I've ever seen. The ability to bring in the closer for 2 innings made no sense. Then brings the other guy in with the bases loaded. I can't even imagine what they just did. That was truly unbelievable. Unbelievable. With that said, I don't know if St. Louis can win that series. You can't lose a game like that. I mean, if you bounce back after losing a game like that and win that series, you might just win the whole fucking thing. I mean, I just can't even imagine how demoralized they are. Speaking of demoralized, how is Denver going to get off the carpet? This is a game. They became Indianapolis only. How many hundreds and thousands of NFL games have there been since the Super Bowl era merger in 1973? Only the second time in history a team scored 0 touchdowns, was sacked 6 times with multiple turnovers, and won a game. Think that one out for a second. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I can't even believe. I mean, in all fairness, Denver looks like the worst team in the league. I think Seattle's a fucking travesty. We're going to go to that next. They lost to Seattle in week 1. They gave up 34 yards of offense second half. Fumbled the ball twice to 1 yard line. They beat a very bad Houston team, which, by the way, I think the Jags might kill them this week. I really love the Jags at 6.5, laying 7. I don't know if I'm going to play them in the contest this week. But Geno Smith, the Seattle offense is awful. Okay, they played the worst defense in the league in Detroit last week. Detroit was so worried about their offense because 4 skill players were out. They scored 45 with their top 4 skill players out. 45. I mean, Jared Goff looks like the MVP of the league. They lead the league in scoring. My God, I can't even imagine. The Saints defense is a top 8 defense in the league, I think. Maybe top 7. And everyone scores on Seattle. And Andy Dalton will go up and down the field on that Seattle defense. And I'm going to tell you right now, my pick of the week are the Saints minus 5.5. In back-to-back road games, Seattle is a very bad team. I love the Saints. I'm going to have them on all 6 of my cards. That is my pick of the week. When you play these contests, you got to find dogs, and you usually don't do well betting favorites. But I like 2 favorites this week. I don't think can lose. Pitts is out for Atlanta. They're all-American tight end. Patterson is out on IR for 4 weeks. They run their offense through Patterson. They completed 7 fucking passes last week versus Cleveland, missing 4 defensive players. If you don't think after what Tampa Bay showed up and how badly their defense performed, and they're 0-2 at home, and they're playing for the lead in the division, anyone don't think Tampa Bay's going to beat the fuck out of fucking Atlanta this week. I mean, Atlanta's 2-2. They should be 3-1. They could be 4-0 with the big comeback to the Rams. Or you could say they fucking choked off the game to the fucking Saints. They were never in the game against the Rams, even though the Rams tried as hard as they can to give it away. That was like 34-3 at one time or something like that. Then they played Seattle, who I still think is the worst team in the NFL. And I have under 6 and still very confident in them. And this is a very important game for the Saints. It's a must-win game. Back-to-back on the road. The Saints defense held that Vikings offense in check. Their run defense was fantastic. I just don't think they're going to score more than 10 off the Saints, and everybody scores 30 off Seattle. Seattle has given up 30. Even in the week 1 with the 2 fumbles, that Denver went up and down the field on Seattle, and that was before Adams was out. Anyways, I'm confident in the Bucs. I know it's a big fucking lay, and the Sharps will not be on this game. This is basically